not only does he give Hulk Hogan a hug, he dry humps Hulk Hogan while Hulk Hogan is being bear hugged by the Giant. And then Hogan screams and runs like a little bitch. Somebody go get help. He literally just tried to commit murder and threw a man off a rooftop and then ran away screaming for help.
Remember the video store kids? Remember we used to do that? We used to go to this, place and we used to rent movies, games.
It's a fucking mummy. Call it the Yeti or the Yeti.
Kevin Sullivan is making this so incredibly hard to watch. His existence is making this hard for me to watch.
Well, here's the thing about WCW, sir. They just give title shots to anybody.
Clearly.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not those of the host. Discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast that turns the clock back to a time when sports entertainment was still called professional wrestling. This is Return to Wrestling, and I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden, Matt Ritter, and I am here with my co-host again to drag me through the muck that is 1996 WCW Nitro and the pay-per-views, Lord Cussalott, Travis Pointer, aka the Dragon King, aka Big T, aka Sweet T, aka T Money, aka Black Merlin, aka the HNIC.
What's that?
I didn't fuck it up that time. I'm proud of myself.
You
we do
didn't.
this so infrequently now that, you know,
It's easy to forget. I've even forgotten before. So it's just, you know, there was 1 week of I want to say it was on Super Flashy Arrow tomorrow where I said Sir Cussalott. I corrected myself afterwards. Like just to go back, it is Lord Cussalott now. Yes, I'll even correct myself. I did a whole thing. It was fun. But yeah.
I really gotta I can't believe they got you that title. But anyway, we're here to talk 1996 WCW and Travis.
Oh, also, by the way, I actually realized I can actually like sign that on things now too, like legally. Like I can sign Lord Travis Pointer when I sign things, and it's fucking amazing. But go ahead.
We started this like a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Has it been that long? Yeah, because we've gone through about a year of WCW now. So yeah. A little over a year.
And for that amount of time, you have been telling me, don't worry, Matt, the Dungeon of Doom is going to go away. Don't worry, Matt, the Dungeon of Doom is going to go away.
I swear I thought they did. Like, I don't
Halloween
remember
Havoc.
I don't remember any of this shit.
96. And the Dungeon of Doom is still fucking here.
They are. And here's the thing. I don't remember any of this shit, dude. I swear to you. Like, that's the thing. Like, I legit thought they'd be gone by now because I don't remember anything they're doing right now. I don't remember it at all.
And I don't understand how Conan's part of the Dungeon of Doom, but Glacier isn't, because Glacier is a character tailor-made for Kevin Sullivan's bullshit.
Yeah.
Conan becoming the Conan, the K-Dog that we know,
and then being like, the Dungeon of Doom
makes no fucking sense at all. You guys are gonna have to excuse me. I am getting over a cold, so I know I'm a little stuffy. My voice might crack a little bit. Hopefully on the tail end of it, it's like day 5 of this bullshit. And I've already done 2 other podcasts this weekend. So kicking my ass a little bit, but we're going to get through this.
I'll keep my laughter to a minimum.
All right. September 16th, 1996, WCW Nitro, Monday Nitro, not Monday Night Nitro.
Right.
Kick it off with a cruiserweight title match. Hoovy loses to Rey Mysterio.
What was the date of this Nitro?
September 16th, so 1996.
In the middle of September. So, Matthew, I have here, I was able to look this up. A scan, if you will, so I can look at WCW magazine from September of 1996.
Is this that thing we talked about earlier?
Yes.
That you told me to remind you about? Okay.
Yeah, and then you didn't remind me? Yeah.
Well, I didn't know you wanted me to do it right at the beginning of the show. You said during the show, so I was going to wait a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But you got it.
Yeah, I'm about I'm gonna share it with you so you can take a look. See.
All right.
You see it?
I do.
Yeah. So this is WCW Magazine, September 1996 issue here. So let's take a look here. So this is what was in WCW Magazine. Look at Alex Wright. Look at Alex Wright.
Look at Alex Wright.
You see Nash and Hall are on the cover of WCW Magazine.
Is it just me, or does Alex Wright look like he'd be in one of those dancing bear videos?
He does. He looks like that now. Like when
straight up male stripper.
Not like, not in 2022, but like where we're watching now on Nitro. Yeah. And even the way he dances, just 100% stripper dance. But let me see. I think that's
the cover.
Yeah, I think they'll let me actually go through the magazine here. Yeah.
DDP. My guy.
Yeah. Let me see. Some editor's notes. I wish this would let me zoom in. Nah, it won't zoom.
Is there something specific here you want to?
Not really. I'm just curious as to what this all said right here. That's all. What the editor.
Okay. I could read it to you.
Oh, sure, if you want.
I have really good eyes. If a week in wrestling is a long time, then a month in wrestling is an eternity. Just 1 month ago, I praised Hulk Hogan for being one of the big boys. Now I can hardly mention his name. Like many of you, I feel betrayed. I feel let down. I am left with wondering just who or what is left to trust. I'm not reading all that because that's going to strain the shit out of my eyes. But
so it's basically
I think like a paragraph. Yeah,
it's basically them, like whoever this is. Who signed at the end? That's
Colin Bowman, editor.
The fuck that is? Yeah, okay. I guess he's the editor of WCW Magazine, but I guess that's just him being pissed off about Hogan. Okay.
Yep, as we all should be.
Yeah.
Did you hear the news?
No.
Hulk Hogan can never wrestle again.
I thought that was already a given, but okay.
He came out in an interview and said, due to injuries sustained over his career, he can never wrestle again. And that was probably the happiest point of my week. Because I'm never going to have to see that old fuck step in the ring again.
Billy the Kid. Oh, Kidman. Okay.
What's that? Who's at Hooters?
I don't know. It says Scorned. Looks like Scotty Riggs.
Before he lost his eye.
Yeah. This is pre-I lost Scotty Riggs.
Yeah.
I'm
Pre-Ravens flock.
Scotty Riggs. I'm trying to. I think he doesn't lose the eye until a year from now.
Everyone's going to see this on the video version, right? Like this isn't just us talking and they're going to have no idea. Okay,
I think so. I think
so.
I did it right, because if not, then I'm gonna have to do some other shit and try to overlay with some and that'll be a pain in the ass. But I think I did it right. I guess this is before Sting told everybody to stick it.
And Mean Gene got fired at this point, right? Like as we're going through this,
he wasn't fired. His contract was just up, and he didn't come back.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just he came back eventually. It's just at this point he hadn't come back yet. His contract was up. He didn't want to sign. He wanted more money or something. I don't know. But
because he just like disappears and they kind of talk about it, but they don't really say what happened. They're just like, yeah. He's gone.
Yep. And we'll talk about it on this one too. But this is like, after this pay-per-view we see here, Savage is gone for a while too.
Savage dresses like a rich old white lady.
You can see like a lot of this stuff with the magazine. It's not like as current because this was the magazine era, so it didn't have to be,
Yeah.
It's like they're still showing this shit with like,
Holy shit, does that say Mark Madden?
Yeah.
He was working for WCW back in 1996?
I guess.
Because it wouldn't be till like 2000, I want to say, when he became an announcer or
at
a commentator.
Yeah. He was a shitty commentator. I remember that. Yeah.
In WCW, yeah. the hostile takeover.
Yeah.
I love how it's the hostile takeover, but it's all just the cruiserweight title match and not the NWO.
Yeah, like there's no NWO in this at all, but like it's the hostile takeover.
Some damn good fucking shots there of Ray and Psychosis.
Oh yeah. I mean, they had a banger of a match though, so
They did.
They had a banger of a match as well, just for different reasons. They just were banging up against stuff. Talk about the Nasty Boys and Public Enemy here.
Oh, I cannot wait to talk about the Nasty Boys this week.
Those dumbasses, yeah. But yeah, this is WCW Magazine. I mean, I can kind of just scan through the rest of it. We don't have to like analyze every page. You can see it's older stuff, not stuff.
Oh yeah,
I got that time. But yeah, this is what WCW Magazine looked like, people. In case you saw those ads as a kid and wanted to see it and couldn't get the subscription because your parents wouldn't pay for it. But yeah, this is what was in there. So you really weren't missing much. It was, well, they mentioned Medusa here. Even though like she's just not on TV at all anymore. But
yeah, right.
Yeah.
There's no women's division in WCW right now at all.
Yeah.
After throwing the WWF women's title in the trash and that whole thing, we had a good period where like Medusa was wrestling Bull Nakano and some awesome women from Japan, and then gone.
More stuff about the Outsiders, so Big Bubba. Yeah. But yeah, man, this is WCW Magazine. I just thought it'd be funny. We get a kick out of showing the people and taking a look at it ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, this is all leading up to Fall Brawl last month's pay-per-view. Like I said, I forgot about this last month because I had it then and we just got caught up in conversation. I forgot, which is why I just did it right at the beginning this week because I'd forget.
Fair enough. All right, so September 16th, one day after Fall Brawl, Juventud Guerrera, Juvi, loses to Ray in a cruiserweight title match. We got a Mongo and Benoit interview. Clearly, Mongo McMichaels is on drugs because I didn't understand a goddamn word he said. Like, he's ranting and raving. Deborah's there doing Deborah things. Like, it was a whole thing. Then we got the Glacier
here. Yeah. I definitely have a note here. Stop letting Deborah talk. But,
yeah. Deborah was good for certain things on TV, and cutting promos was not one of them. She had an appeal, and her appeal was business suits, female business suits in WWF.
Yeah. With the top slightly open so you can see the bra and the puppies. Yeah.
The puppies, yeah. Glacier promo. All right, so we got the origin story of Glacier, how he went from a redneck to a samurai. He decided to move halfway across the world because his father was a cop and he didn't want to shoot black people. So he moved to Asia to get away from that. But he still wears blue in honor of his father, whatever. He comes out with, we got knockoff Mortal Kombat music playing. His theme song is going to be a cheap ripoff of the Mortal Kombat music.
And I didn't remember this theme music because this doesn't stay his theme music.
Yeah,
because I remember his. I guess it was his second theme music is the one that I remember because I heard this and I'm like, did they change this for the WWE network? Because they didn't have rights to the song anymore. Because they do that with a few other things, like DDP's music is not what it was before, and that never changed because I listened and watched later stuff when he was later on in the career, and it was still this other stuff that they used. Public Enemy's music is not this; it's something different. So a few of them, it was just like, interesting. And I think when they start using, when Jericho turns heel, I think they start using his WWE music overall.
Really?
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. Speaking of interesting, we got Ice Train losing to DDP, but we don't see the finish of the match. You know why? Because it is more important to show fans dressed in NWO t-shirts blockading the merchandise stand to stop people from buying WCW merch. They're protesting, they're wrapping themselves in caution tape. So because we had to cut to people we don't give two fucks about impeding people from buying WCW merch, we miss the whole end of the match. They do give us a replay though, and it shows DDP throwing Teddy Long's towel in the ring while the ref has got his back turned. He grabs it off Teddy and throws it. So then the ref thinks that even though DDP is locked in a full Nelson, that Teddy threw the towel in for his competitor who was in an offensive maneuver, and calls the match. Can you guess who the referee for this match was?
Oh, it's probably Nick Patrick.
Yeah, 100% Nick Patrick, because Nick Patrick and Teddy Bear Long do not fucking like each other
At all.
And Teddy's just managing everybody. He's managing fucking Ice Train. He's managing Jim Powers, just whoever the fuck Teddy, go out there with this guy.
I mean, Ice Train and Jim Powers. Who else?
He was managing Scott Norton.
Well,
And
that's just because he was with Ice Train, though.
Craig Pittman, Pitbull Pittman.
Oh, I forgot about Pitbull. You're right.
Yeah. Right. We see X-Pac in the crowd, hanging out.
6.
X-Pac.
6. That was 6.
Super Callow loses to Conan. Tenay interviews X-Pac after the match and says
6.
he was in Japan and thought he'd just stop by to see what all the hype was about. You know, he's not here for the NWO. He heard about WCW, and after his little tour in Japan, thought he'd come over and see what was going on. Hugh Morris loses to Brad Armstrong. Why the fuck is Brad Armstrong on every fucking episode of Nitro?
You know who that is, though?
Yeah, it's fucking Brian Armstrong's brother. It's Road Dogg's brother. The Armstrong family is the Armstrong family. Yes, I know.
They're important to wrestling, man. That's why he kept getting booked, because their family is important in wrestling. They get jobs.
Who the fuck is Brad Armstrong though? Like,
he's an Armstrong.
Yeah. We got a Macho Man interview where he practices his rap skills a little bit before that banger of an album he dropped later. They never get better, by the way. They're still just as bad. Basically, he says he's going to beat Hogan.
You trying to say the Macho Man ain't got bars?
I'm saying the Macho Man doesn't have bars except for that one diss track he wrote about Hulk Hogan. The NWO arrives. Everyone from WCW that matters, they're telling us is going to be in Japan next week, except Randy. So it's a big, oh no, the NWO is here today, and they're going to find out that Randy's the only person that we give a shit about from WCW. So all of the mid-card talent that's there apparently does not matter. They're not important. Flair's gone. Sting's gone. Luger's gone. Everyone's going to be in Japan, which is terrible booking on their part. Randy decided to stay, though. He's going to take the NWO on by himself. We got a Macho Man match. He loses to Norton by DQ, and then lays out Nick Patrick, which then leads to Nick Patrick getting a neck brace and a whole angle where he's suing Randy, and we'll get into that. Glacier makes his debut against the Big Boss Man.
His Nitro debut, because he was on WCW Saturday Night, and we don't watch that shit. Or some other shit. Yeah, he was on something else. Yeah.
It's the Blue Light Special. When Glacier wrestles, it's kind of like, for you new fans who aren't familiar, it's like when The Fiend wrestled and had the red light special. Glacier's got a blue light special.
Or Sin Cara when they did the thing with the lights there.
And then they bring out Eric Bischoff to give commentary, because this is Eric Bischoff's brainchild. Eric Bischoff is the karate guy, the martial arts guy. So he's giving expert analysis on all of the martial arts maneuvers that Glacier is using in this match to defeat Ray Traylor, the Big Boss Man, who has hated Glacier for weeks just for existing.
Yeah. His mere existence bothered Big Bubba, and he had to do something about it, get his ass whooped.
We get a Sting interview, but he turns his back to the hard cam. He's not acknowledging us, the viewing audience. He's speaking directly to the WCW fans.
No music, by the way, too.
No music. He talks about how his friends doubted him, so fuck them all. Fuck everybody but the fans. And then he says he's a free agent and he'll show up when he feels like it. And this is what I have been waiting for. This is the beginning of the turn from Surfer Sting to the Sting that I know and love. So now this was cool. The fact that they did that element of him not acknowledging the cameras, talking directly to the fans and the audience, because that's who matters to him. Fuck my friends. I came out here.
What?
How did you not know it was me?
Yeah.
You saw the guy. You looked him in the face. How'd you not know that wasn't me?
Yeah, that's the thing was when Lex dropped that line, I looked you right in your face. Yeah, then you should have known better. My best friend.
Yeah. Trust me. I could look at you and I could look at a million other black people and I would know that which one you are, and I would not mistake someone else for you.
Even
I've
if
known
they
you
wear
way
sunglasses.
too long. Even if you wear sunglasses. We got Jericho and Buff Bagwell as a team, losing to Flair and Arn. Liz doesn't want to come out. She's still upset about Randy. She's trying to figure out what she's doing. This gets really fucking weird because there's a whole thing we're going to talk about here with the NWO, but Liz is refusing to come out with the Four Horsemen. She's very conflicted. During the match, X-Pac pushes a giant metal button and NWO flyers fall from the sky. Go figure, he's with the NWO. Didn't see that coming. No idea.
Yeah, there's no way he's not with the NWO. This is all just shit.
Yeah. We find out that the NWO is getting their own show, supposedly. NWO listens to a recording of Sting on a cassette and makes fun of him out in the parking lot because fuck Sting.
Apparently, no. Apparently, what they did was they used that recording to lure like Luger over to the thing to kind of confuse and make him think that the NWO Sting was the real Sting. So that's what they were kind of making fun of all of that in the process.
Lex versus Mongo and Benoit because Sting does not come out to be Lex's tag team partner because fuck Lex Luger. Like ends in DQ. Lex single-handedly destroys the Four Horsemen for about 2 seconds, and then they run a train on him. Like they just destroy Lex.
Oh yeah,
because they're mad at Lex because they blame Lex for losing War Games.
Yeah, not the fact that they were fighting, 3-on-4.
Yeah. And then we cut to the end of it where the NWO is watching Nitro from a limo and plots how they're going to take over next week with everyone in Japan. It was an alright show. Like, it wasn't bad. On the bright side, there was no Dungeon of Doom this episode, so that's always a plus. No Kevin Sullivan, no Hulk Hogan. I can't complain.
Yeah, and Glacier finally debuted.
I mean, Hulk Hogan was there, but he was like in the limo outside.
Yeah, he didn't really do much though. So
listen, fuck Glacier. All right, Glacier did not do it for me.
Give him time. Eventually, you'll just slightly be irritated by him instead of loathing his existence.
September 23rd, 1996. We kick it off with Hoovy and Brad Armstrong losing to Conan and Kevin Sullivan, the Dungeon of Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Defeats Hoovy and his tag team partner, Brad Armstrong. After
I love seeing this, like seeing how they were able to pull it off. Because at this point, I believe like Hoovy barely spoke English at this point. So
yeah,
I'm just like, It's always interesting to see how those matches work because I guess they say like the language in the ring is universal. So it's just interesting seeing how they're able to work all that stuff out without knowing each other's language. But I'm sure like others like Sullivan, I'm sure has wrestled in Japan, so we know some. And wrestled in Mexico and wrestled all over the world, so they all know, a little bit of other languages. But like, you got
Conan in there.
Yeah.
Conan can handle that, and Conan wrestled the majority of the match. Sullivan only tagged in at the end to get the win, and then after the match, Conan gets jumped into the Dungeon of Doom because apparently it is a gang now, and that's how they do things. I have not seen anyone else, not the Yeti, not the Kraken or whatever the fuck that fucking
Loch Ness.
Loch Ness, that dude. Nobody else get jumped into the Dungeon of Doom, but we're gonna jump in Conan because
it happened off camera.
Yeah. Another Macho Man interview. Talks about how he took himself off the Japan tour so that he could get gangbang NWO style this week. Like he was looking forward to that, didn't want to miss that.
Mm-hmm.
Mike's penis loses to Chris Jericho.
See, you said that. I put Mike anus.
Mike's penis loses to Chris Jericho because Mike's penis is the ready part of Rough and Ready, and Dirty Dick Slater is the rough part of Rough and Ready. So the dirty dick is rough. Mike's penis is ready.
But the thing is, doesn't the dirty dick have to go into the anus?
it does have to go into the anus, and if they break up, that might be something.
That's what I'm saying. So like it'd be Mike Anus.
Yeah, but they're a tag team, Travis.
Yeah, so they come together.
So it's the dirty dick and Mike's penis.
Well,
Double penetration.
Dirty dick in the anus.
There's a ready penis and a rough penis. Double penetration.
Rough penis, ready anus.
I'll let you listeners decide which you prefer.
Yeah, you all let us know what you think. How about that?
Mike's anus or Mike's penis? Which one do you like better? We got Pat Tanaka losing to Glacier. Again, they're playing up the whole Pat Tanaka is a martial artist, so he'll be on par with Glacier. But Glacier is such a badass martial artist that he defeats Pat Tanaka.
Still off-putting hearing him come out with Goldberg's music.
Well, that's the thing is I literally have right here, Glacier was the template for Goldberg. Like they tried what ended up working for Goldberg, they tried to work with fucking Glacier and it didn't work. And they realized, okay, this is what we did wrong. And then they made it work to make Goldberg work better.
Could be.
Public Enemy defeats Harlem Heat to win the tag team titles.
Didn't see that coming at all.
No, not at all.
Then they took it back though. So it didn't even matter.
Oh yeah, real quick.
They're like, that was a bad idea.
Macho Man defeats Greg the Hammer Valentine with another chair DQ, or loses to Greg the Hammer Valentine because of another chair DQ. The NWO comes out. They jump Randy. Liz comes out to watch and runs away. Nash whips him with a Slim Jim, which I found very amusing. I love Kevin Nash. I really do. The NWO takes over the show. They introduce Vincent as part of the NWO. So we got X-Pac last week. We got Vincent, aka Virgil, this week. Vincent keeps pulling Eric's hair, and you could tell Bischoff was getting pissed. He was
pulling his hair, doing that on the shoulder thing, and yeah.
Like you remember when Titus got suspended for touching Vince McMahon?
Yeah.
Imagine if Titus had done what Vincent did to Eric to Vince. Like, I could see him getting suspended for like yanking his fucking hair and slapping him on the shoulders. Not just a gentle like, hey boss, what's up? Like, come on.
Yeah, he definitely was pushing it. So just like, ugh. But I mean, he stayed employed forever.
Pretty much, yeah. And then we get the redneck tie-in that WCW loves so much. The NWO NASCAR, driven by Kyle Petty.
Kyle Petty. I don't know who Kyle Petty is, but they said it apparently was a big deal though. So
Kyle Petty is the son of Richard Petty, and the only reason I know this is because Phil was a huge NASCAR fan back in the day. Phil loved Jeff Gordon, loved NASCAR. I never got into it. Like the whole weird WCW infatuation with NASCAR and monster trucks just blows my mind.
I mean, I know, like at the time, like I know NASCAR and monster trucks were pretty big. It's just they just weren't our circle, you know?
Yeah.
Like I used to actually love watching monster truck rallies. Though I used to go with my grandmother all the time when I visited her in Louisiana. Like we'd either go to a monster truck rally and watch, or we watch it on TV because that was what we did. So I enjoy monster trucks. Even now, like when I see it on TV, like it kind of just reminds me of my grandmother. And like sometimes I get a little teary-eyed. But it's just like one of those things. Like it was a good time for us. So I can, you know, watching big ass trucks tear shit up and crush shit is fun. NASCAR bores me, but
Talladega Nights is fun, but other than that.
Yeah. If every NASCAR race gave us that kind of inside look and we saw everything going on that way and it looked like that, sure, I'd watch NASCAR every day. Yep. But, you know.
Also, because the NWO has taken over the show, Big Show is now the ring announcer.
Yeah.
And he announces Jim Powers versus IRS, who Travis previously referred to as VK Wall Street, but is no longer VK Wall Street because of the lawsuit with WWF at the time. He is now just M Wall Street.
I missed that.
So now I'm calling him IRS again because he's no longer VK Wall Street. He's just IRS.
So because they switched from VK to M, which has nothing to do with IRS. you feel justified in still calling him by the name he doesn't go by here.
Correct. Just like WWE recently changed Pete Dunne's name to Butch. I'm still going to call that motherfucker Pete Dunne. Like,
his name is just Butch.
Just Butch. He debuted alongside Sheamus and Ridge Holland on the main roster in their Gangs of New York attire. And they said, you may know him as another name, but his nickname is Butch. And they are calling him Butch.
Interesting. Does he still wear the singlet?
I don't know. He didn't have a match. He just came out in the wife beater with the suspenders and the old school pants and the hat.
Oh, this was like this week, like recently.
Yes, this was this week, which now dates everyone for when they listen to this episode to know when we recorded it. But yeah.
Whatever. I stopped
Jim
caring
Powers
about that a while ago.
Hall and Nash beat up Powers and Wall Street, leaves. The ref quits. Nick Patrick comes down, replaces him, and then Big Show chokeslams Jim Powers and gets the win in a match he wasn't even a part of. So that was the whole thing.
W's a W.
Hogan shows up looking for somebody and finds the Nasty Boys backstage. Well, he's just like spray painting the building, like tagging the building.
Yeah, just for
they
no
don't,
reason. It's not
they
even
don't
it's like,
own the building.
Yeah, it's not even WCW's building. Like it's so weird. And honestly, it was only super weird though because it was Hogan doing it. Like, had Nash and Hall done it, they would have found a way to make that look at least cool in some way. But Hogan just looked awkward doing it. Like, this is not what you do, sir. Leave it
like
to
everything Hogan does.
Like, leave it to the ones who are supposed to be doing. Like, no, he works like, cutting that front man promo for him, but like the stuff that they do that really makes the NWO what it is was Hall and Nash, and they're the ones that need to be doing that shit. All Hogan needs to do is stand up front and be like, yeah, I'm in charge here because I'm the greatest ever. All you people are here because of me, because I'm so great, blah, 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 blah. You just keep doing that. And everything else will be handled by the ones that really make this thing go.
Yeah. But basically he says, hey, here's my hotel key. Go back to the hotel room. We're going to hang out. We're going to talk some business. I've loved you guys my entire life. Don't forget about what I did to my best friend. Don't pay attention to what I did to the booty man, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, my best friend of all these years. Not important. You guys, I really do love. So here's my hotel key. Go back there, get naked. I'll meet you guys in a few hours. Fuck the shit out of you. We'll sign some papers. It's going to be great.
Really, man?
We're supposed to, what else do you give someone a hotel key for, Travis?
Maybe he sent someone else up there to take care of them. You don't know.
Have you ever given someone a hotel key that you did not intend on fucking in that hotel?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, well, you and I are different people then. I don't just give my hotel key out to people.
I mean, you was someone I still knew. Like, we were out on a trip or something like that. Like, yo, you need to go take a nap here. Go take a nap. That kind of shit.
Normally, if I do that, they've got their own room. They can go to their own room. Like,
depends on the situation.
Yeah. Duggan versus Ron Studd does not happen. Ron gets stomped on his way to the ring. And then we find out it's going to be 6 in his debut match versus Jim Duggan. But instead, what?
And we also get the debut of the NWO music.
Yes, we get the debut of the NWO music. Duggan decides, I'm not going to play along with this bullshit. Starts swinging his 2x4 around and no-selling the shit out of 6 until Big Show comes in and drops his ass.
Mm-hmm.
NWO Sting defeats Bo Ledoux.
Yeah, I have NWO Sting versus some dude. And because I didn't hear them say the name, and I'm like, I don't care enough to go back and find out. So he's just some dude.
Also, I believe they mentioned during this match at some point how NWO Sting is kind of like their shot back at the WWF because they're like, they know about people parodying them.
Yeah.
Because WWF did the whole fake Diesel, fake Razor.
Yeah.
So they did a fake Sting, and fake Sting was their little
dig.
Ha ha ha, fuck you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it did get them bigger, better contracts. So like you can't be too mad, Hall and Nash. Like
that's the thing. There's opposing viewpoints on that because there's, you ask Bischoff, that's not the case. You ask, Nash and Hall, like, yeah, we got bigger deals because they panicked when they saw that because we were only on deal memos and blah blah blah. And Bischoff has always been like, deal memos are still legally binding. I wasn't worried. Like it's just
So he just gave them more money for shits and giggles.
He never says he gave them more money. They say they got more money because of it. He has never said he gave them more money. He actually, like I said, like that's not the case. That's not what happened. So it's just they remember it differently, perhaps, or one of them is lying. Who knows?
And then in our main event, the Outsiders defeat 2 Canadians wearing black and pink.
Really? You're not gonna talk about Rage and Chaos, your favorite people.
Yeah. It wasn't Rage and Chaos.
Oh, right. The French Canadians. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. And they wore black and pink. So they basically said, hey, we're going to beat up Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, but the WCW version. We've got 2 Canadians in black and pink, and we're going to stomp them.
Yeah, but they're French Canadians. They don't count. I don't know why I said that or what that even means, but I'm going to go with it.
We had a whole discussion on Friday about how Canadian semen tastes like maple syrup.
Interesting. I've never tasted Canadian semen before, but
that was yesterday. That was Saturday. Because Mr. Warren Hayes has done our regular show, Smack and Raw, and I was with Kyle from Apron Bump yesterday covering 05 TNA, and I don't remember how we got on this. Team Canada, and then we were talking about Team Canada and how Canadian semen tastes like maple syrup.
What about Canadian pussy?
Also tastes like maple syrup.
Okay. Interesting.
That's why Trish was so popular. Anyway, September 30th, Eric's going to address the NWO. Bringing in Hogan was his biggest mistake. He'll never make that mistake again. Well, no shit, because he's already fucking here. We got Hoovy and El Technico losing to Public Enemy. So Hoovy's a tag team slut at this point. Brad Armstrong, now El Technico. I don't even know what the fucking El Technico is, but he's here.
Either. He's somebody.
El Technico gets put through a table after the match.
Yeah, they like kicking off the show with luchadors.
Yeah,
I mean it's a good way to get the night going. Those they can do some high spots, get the crowd hype. Makes sense.
This is also Public Enemy's only successful title defense before losing the belts back to Harlem Heat. So
yeah, because they're like, this was a bad idea. Let's put the belts back on a tag team that looks like they might be able to beat the Outsiders.
Yeah. We had another Benoit and Mongo interview. Deborah reminds us, in case you forgot, that Mongo won a Super Bowl in 1985 with the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
It is 1996. It's 11 years later, but do not forget that at some point in his life, Mongo won a Super Bowl with the Bears.
Yeah.
And then Benoit just says horseman. Yeah.
He shouldn't talk either.
No. We got an NWO public service announcement. I didn't realize this at the time when I wrote this, because I wrote Hogan kidnapped a child, coerced his parents into letting him watch his kidnappers on TV past his bedtime. Then I found out that it was Nick Hogan.
That was Nick, yeah.
So he kidnapped his own child.
Hanging out in the hotel room with the wrestlers, because that's a great place for a child.
Yeah. Well, Nash is talking about how Deborah wants to fuck him.
Yeah.
He can tell. And X-Pac's ordering room service for everyone, because that's his role in the NWO, is room service bitch.
Basically.
Like, not Vincent. I would have thought it would be Vincent, just from the way they treat him and use them and the role he's always played. But no, it's X-Pac.
At this point, yeah. I think X-Pac just was like, look, I know what they like. I'm gonna handle this now. And then eventually, Vincent becomes their bitch and does all that stuff for him. But right now, X-Pac was just handling it because he just knew what everybody wanted already. He knew everybody best, I don't know. I'm spitballing here.
Who knows? I was very surprised that X-Pac got the delivery service job, because you find out later that X-Pac was not happy in the NWO or his time with WCW, and would claim that Hall and Nash weren't either.
He said that on TV in WWF, but other interviews, he's said the very exact opposite, that he had a very great ride. So it was just like,
Dean Malenko loses to Alex Wright. Now, mind you, again, on WCW Saturday Night. Apparently, Dean took Rey Mysterio's panties, and he's been carrying them around with him.
Sir. It was his mask, okay? His mask.
Panties, cock mask. What's the difference?
It's the mask for his face, sir.
Okay. Well, he stripped Rey Mysterio, and he's carrying around that souvenir with him. Alex Wright gets the surprise win here. Good for Alex Wright. You know, male strippers need a win every now and then.
Yeah, you gotta get a W sometime.
We're supposed to have a Macho Man interview, but he doesn't show up.
He's just not there.
You know, he's losing his shit. He's crazy. He got his ass whooped. We're gonna find out where Macho Man is later in the night, and this gets really fucking Days of Our Lives. So, Eddie Guerrero defeats Jim Powers. Teddy Bear Long again not happy with Nick Patrick's officiating. Doesn't think it was a fair call. The Nasty Boys party with the NWO. They finally show up to the hotel room. They got the hotel key last week, but just show up this week, even though they're in a different city, I'd assume.
Probably.
So
yeah, I think they had started touring again at this point. So yeah.
So Hogan had the hotel and the key a week in advance to give to them to hang out this week.
No, I gave him another one this week.
Okay, so he fucked him last week, and then this week was the post-fuck party.
Again, he did not fuck the Nasty Boys.
Listen, Hogan fucked everybody in the wrestling industry. Repeatedly.
If you say so.
We got an Arn Anderson interview. He addresses Liz's loyalty or lack thereof. All Liz can say is, listen, it's complicated. It's complicated. I don't know what to tell you. It's complicated. Arn says the Four Horsemen don't do just the tip. You're either all the way in or you're all the way out. One of the two. We don't just tip the round. We don't do just the tip around here.
No. Yeah, we need full penetration or nothing.
Hugh Morris defeats Brad Armstrong because, again, every week, fucking Brad Armstrong. And he's losing every week. He's out there to lose every week to a different opponent.
Look, I need you to stop pretending that you don't love Brad Armstrong, okay?
I don't love Brad Armstrong.
We all know how much love you have for Brad and his Armstrong, all right?
I can't wait till we get to General Erection. I know it's a long ways away.
It is. Like, hopefully at that point, because that's not even like the fun kind of bad wrestling. Like, that's bad to just like, I don't know. Like there's a fun kind of bad, and then there's what was happening in 2000.
See, you had General Erection, you had Corporal Cajun, you had GI Bro, you had Major Guns, and then whatever the fuck Chavo was.
Yeah, I forgot what Chavo was.
I don't know. I
think it was Lieutenant Loco.
Lieutenant Loco, that is correct.
Yeah. See, that part was actually kind of funny, but like everything else was just like, this is not the fun kind of bad stuff. This was just, I need this to stop.
You remember when I'm sure we're gonna get to it hopefully eventually in like 3 years, but No Limit Soldiers were a faction in WCW.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hoo-dee-hoo! Yeah.
Arn defeats Chris Jericho.
Rednecks.
Yeah.
Because Kurt Hennig became a West Texas redneck. Because
you encounter many West Texas rednecks in San Antonio?
I mean, it's full of them. Like, we're in Central Texas, but a lot of West Texas rednecks hang out here too because they like the Riverwalk. And I was just at the rodeo a couple weeks ago, so yeah.
Bronx and blood, the bulls and mud. We call that thing a rodeo.
But yeah. I mean, and here's the thing: enjoyed it a lot more than I expected to. Not gonna lie, like. After a while, you kind of get into it. You start like, oh shit, is he gonna hang on? Oh shit. And yeah. One dude rolled a bull 4 times because every time, like, he wouldn't get the score he wanted, but there was he like got the right to do a re-ride because the bull basically fell over.
Oh.
So whenever time that happens with the bull, you can re-ride again if you want. So he kept getting the re-ride, but then the last time he didn't make it. Then he had to use that last ride. So he was just like, I wanted to get that win, but he didn't get it. And it's like, yeah.
See, I was pissed because the wife and I were watching the Go Big show last night.
Mhm.
And the guy that won the whole thing was the guy who just did front flips over bulls. But every week it was the same thing. The bull would run at him and he'd flip over the bull. You didn't add anything to it. You had a dude belly flop into 10 inches of water that was lit on fire, who lost to a dude doing a front flip over a road, like from 26 feet in the air, set a world record.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
Who lost to a dude who just jumped over. Yeah. Jumped over.
Bullshit.
Yep. All right. Where were we? Arn Anderson defeats Chris Jericho. And then Liz is like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm out. I'm leaving for the night. She's gone. Lex defeats IRS.
Also, we got to see what I call, we only got it for a little while for this night, the best 3-man announced team that has ever existed. Like,
Which is
Tony Schiavone, Bobby Heenan, and Mike Tenay. Like, the three of them is the best 3-man announced booth I've ever seen. Best announced team, period, is still JR and King. But like a 3-man team, it was this one right here. Eventually, once Bischoff, we spoilers for those of you who somehow don't know this, Bischoff officially joins the NWO and is no longer an announcer.
What? What?
That's the Monday night thing every week. It'll be the first half of the night is Schiavone, Larry Zbyszko, and Mike Tenay, and then the second half they replace Zbyszko with Bobby Heenan.
See, and I'm not sure if I like Zbyszko better than Heenan, so I'm gonna have to. I can't wait till we get to that point so that I can kind of compare, because Zbyszko fills the same role that Heenan does.
But not.
Yeah, we will see. Maybe less racist.
Yeah, I mean, but definitely less racist, but also less entertaining. So it's just 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. What's your flavor?
WCW dedicates their NASCAR, because WCW has theirs, to Sting as an apology. We are sorry, Sting, that we didn't trust you, we didn't believe you, and to make up for it, we're gonna turn the WCW NASCAR into the Sting NASCAR. We're gonna put a scorpion on it. There's a driver nobody gives a fuck about, has ever heard of, driving that car. He's probably gonna lose, but this is our apology to you.
Yeah, you don't get Kyle Petty, but you get a car.
Yeah. The Faces of Fear defeat the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah, they're still not dead.
Bobby Heenan in shit Bobby Heenan says. Probably my favorite thing I've heard Bobby Heenan say to date. Do you know what you call Hulk Hogan buried up to his neck in sand? Not enough sand.
Bobby always gives you one. You're gonna get one out of Bobby at some point. You watch all the way through all this. You just at some point Bobby's gonna give you one. Most of the time it's in some form racist or sexist, but sometimes it's just a good one.
Yeah, like murder Hulk Hogan. Like all for that. The Faces of Fear jump Rock and Roll Express. I abbreviated that as RNRE. And I had to look at that. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, Rock and Roll Express. Public Enemy tries to make the save, but they also get wrecked because it's fucking the Barbarian and Ming. Like, why would you go after those guys
and not bring weapons? Like,
yeah.
When NWO goes against them, they bring weapons.
Well, the NWO goes against anyone they bring. Like, they could fight Brad Armstrong and bring weapons. Like,
yeah. And they don't lose.
It could be Hall and Nash versus Disco Inferno and Brad Armstrong, and they would still use weapons.
Yeah. But guess who keeps getting the wins?
We got an NWO PSA, more NASCAR bullshit. We got Benoit defeating Rick Steiner. Then we got another NWO PSA, but this is back at the hotel now. So Liz goes to the hotel room to fuck Hulk Hogan to get
the most awkward shit. Just
Randy out of debt or some shit. Like this was like a porno. Like, when the pornos where your wife goes and
what
fucks
this was supposed to be, dude.
Fucks somebody because your husband's in debt or some shit.
Yeah, she took. Well, remember she took all his money in the divorce and all that, and I guess Rick spent it all because that's what Rick does.
And she's tired of watching Macho Man get jumped every week, so she decides I'm gonna go get gangbanged by the NWO and settle Randy's debt, and everything's gonna be okay. Apparently, now we talked about this. Big Show apparently at this point has done 2 movies. He said he has finished 2 movies, one of them with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Tell me what the fucking movie featuring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Paul White is, because I have not seen it and I need to see it.
I don't know, but if it exists, I want to see it too.
The NWO gets a box, a gift. All I could say was, "What's in the box?" I want to know what was in the box.
And then as
Liz leaves the hotel room doing the walk of shame after the gangbang, Macho Man runs down the hallway, finds her, starts yelling at her, and is like, as he's yelling at her, he's sprinting back and forth up and down the hallway.
Like he's going to the room and then comes back and yells some more. Then goes back to the room and comes back and yells some more. And it's like, dude, make up your mind.
Yeah, it was fucking weird. That's how the show goes off air, is Macho Man sprinting up and down the hallway to yell at Liz before he goes in to find out who gangbanged his ex-wife.
Yeah.
October 7th, Harlem Heat defeat Public Enemy with a lot of help from Colonel Parker and Sherry. We get a recap from Saturday when Heat won back the belts. So at this point, this is a rematch for the tag team titles that Public Enemy had already lost.
Mm-hmm.
Liz tries to find Randy to tell him it's not what it looked like, even though we all know it's exactly what it looked like. The Outsiders cut a promo in the crowd during the match, mocking Harlem Heat. They've got the nose strips on. And there's a really bad Jason impersonation because apparently Scott Hall doesn't know that it's and he does what a lot of people do, and it goes I was not happy about that.
That sounds like that really bothered you.
It did, because there's a whole thing where they used an echoplex and it was kill, 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 and mom. So it came out, but a lot of people who think they know what they're doing do it wrong. Kind of like the fucking famous Star Wars line that everyone gets wrong. Like they all think, oh, I know the Star Wars line. Luke, I am your father. And it's not, that's not it.
No,
like,
I am your father. Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, I'm a horror movie fan. I want you to get your shit right. If you're going to do horror movie shit, do it right. Jeff Jarrett arrives. He is in Why does Jeff Jarrett, everywhere he goes, think he's going to be a main event star, think he's a bigger deal than he really is? Like, he thought he was the shit in WWF. That didn't work out. He was a mid-carder at best. Comes to WCW, thinks he's the next fucking Ric Flair. He's walking around doing the Ric Flair strut on top of the world. Eventually, Vince Russo shows up and says, fuck it, I'll make you a star. And then from there on, like TNA, he was just like the king of the mountain for fucking ever. Didn't let anyone get over.
You skipped a few matches, though. You skipped the Glacier match.
No, that's still coming up.
Somebody has
Jeff's match. He arrived at the building.
Oh, okay.
Then we find out about the $1 million fine on Macho Man that Nick Patrick is trying to push forward. And he claims that he's the one that got rid of Mean Gene for talking shit to him and accusing him of being with the NWO. DDP defeats Jim Powers, puts his hands on Teddy Long. Do not put your hands on Teddy Bear Long, DDP. I love you. You are my favorite guy from WCW, but do not touch Teddy. He's a treasure.
Yeah, you don't touch Teddy Bear Long, man. What's wrong with you?
We got a Macho Man interview. This time he does show up. He's hanging out with the NASCAR Slim Jim driver because Slim Jim has their own NASCAR. The NWO has their own NASCAR. WCW has their own NASCAR. The Macho Man puts this guy over for coming in 10th.
Yeah.
Like that's a big accomplishment.
You were in the top 12.
Dude, this was fucking terrible.
Yeah, it went on so long. Like the whole top 20, top 15, the top 12. Like, dude. all you got to do is be like, yo, there's many people racing. He was in 10th. Like, you know, he's a bad dude. You could have stopped right there, but you didn't have to do the top 20, like, dude.
I also
stop.
feel like finishing 10th isn't a big deal. Like, I don't think you get anything for finishing 10th.
I don't know.
What is it Ricky Bobby says? If you're not first, you're last.
I don't think that's real, Matt.
100% real. Liz interrupts and Macho Man tells her to go fuck herself. NWO already did. Now go fuck yourself. High Voltage loses to the Faces of Fear.
Of course they do, because everybody loses to the Faces of Fear.
Rage and Chaos deserve better. Glacier defeats Mike Winter because his last name was Winter. So we're playing up the whole Glacier thing. You've got a martial arts guy.
His name?
Yes.
I thought it was Mike Winter.
I'm pretty sure it was Winter.
Let's look this up.
Because my whole thing was like they had Pat Tanaka for the fighting, and then they had Mike Winter because Glacier and snow. Even if it is Winter, I'm going to call him Winter because it works better.
I guess because, Mike Winter. Yeah, Mike Winter, WCW. Yeah, Mike Winter, Wenner.
Whatever. He's not important. He never became anybody.
Right. Because I remember it being there because I'm like, it's almost Mike Wiener. But
I did realize, though, that I do appreciate the Glacier thing because it's like Malachi Black if he had a really shitty gimmick and posed a lot.
Kind of.
Jeff Jarrett defeats Hugh Morris. Then they do an interview. It was not. Are you with the NWO, Jeff? Jeff's like, no, fuck Hogan. He's a liar. He's lying about being wrestling. I'm wrestling. And says the NWO can stick it. Arn defeats the Renegade, who is also still around.
I mean, they still.
He doesn't even look like Warrior anymore.
Yeah, they had to stop that. So
yeah. Arn tries to explain to Renegade he doesn't belong in wrestling from a tree of woe. Well, he's hanging in a tree of woe. Wow. Why is that so hard to say? Tree of woe. And then Luger runs in and scares off Arn Anderson, which I don't believe. And then they do the thing that I hate. Lex Luger's already out there. And then Lex Luger goes in the back so he can redo an entrance for his match against Dave Taylor.
Yeah. Unless for some reason we weren't, they went to commercial break and they needed to do something in the ring during that commercial break, but I don't know.
I guess the reason that they did this was because Jeeves gets wrecked during Dave's entrance, and then Arn jumps Lex Luger with a chair on his way to the back after the match. So Rick Steiner defeats Benoit. Oh yeah, by the way, Jeeves gets wrecked by Dave Taylor during Dave's entrance. Like Dave is disrespecting his butler. Rick Steiner defeats Benoit. The NWO arrive, distracts commentary. Deborah distracts the ref. Rick steals the briefcase and drops Mongo and Benoit with it. Main event time. Macho Man versus Ric Flair. During this, because during this we go to Hogan offering the Nasty Boys a contract if they watch his back as he confronts Macho Man. The NWO takes out Flair on his way to the ring. Big Show stalks Liz to the ring and awkwardly holds onto her and grabs her. Randy tries to come to a rescue, but Hogan drops him from behind. Randy gets a chalk outline and tagged PH. I don't know what PH stood for. Pornhub, maybe? Maybe they were like, hey, in the future, there's going to be this awesome podcast on Pornhub who's going to cover this. So we're going to shout them out here.
I don't know.
Big Show no-sells a pop to the back from a fan. Dude blasted him in the back of the
full
head.
can, to the back.
He didn't even flinch.
Yeah. Paul White don't see that shit.
Hogan says that he has nullified the marriage of Liz and Randy because he has that power. Because he now owns her mind, body, and soul. Miss Elizabeth is officially Hogan property.
so fucking cringy.
And then X-Pac destroys the commentary booth with a monster truck.
Yeah, because fuck them.
Because monster trucks in NASCAR.
Yeah.
Then we pick up the next week as if none of this ever happened. And guess who's in our opening match, Travis?
Your favorite Armstrong.
Brad Armstrong, losing to Dean Malenko. NWO shows
There's
up.
two things that you just absolutely love: seeing Dean Malenko win and seeing Brad Armstrong in another match.
You know what? I don't have the issue with Dean Malenko that I used to have. Like, he is what he is. NWO does arrive. IRS loses to Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Wall Street.
Hugh Morris defeats Jim Powers. We continue the issues between, like, are we going to get a Teddy Long versus Nick Patrick match? Because if not, why are we doing this?
No, it's just a continued Nick Patrick saga of him being an awful referee.
Greg Valentine does the job for Lex Luger. Tony Schiavone interviews Nick Patrick. Lets him know Randy isn't getting fined $1 million. He's getting fined $500. And he's going to miss the first 5 matches of 1997. Tony thinks that Nick was the masked ref from the NWO Saturday night when they had their own show. It was NWO Saturday night. They got their show that they talked about. They had a ref that was in a mask that looked a lot and moved a lot and sounded a lot like Nick Patrick, but Nick says that wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Swears he's in the NWO, and he's very pissed that Macho Man is not getting fined and said his team of lawyers is going to take care of this. We're supposed to see Mike's penis versus the Macho Man, or Mike's anus, depending on what you prefer. Bischoff tries to get an interview during his entrance. There is a Liz video package for Randy that is a total mind fuck. She is on a swing, on a tree, professing her love for Randy and apologizing and all of these things in a place that was very special to them. So Randy just says, fuck it, and goes home.
Yeah. Like, who shot that? Like, who did Liz get to come and take video of her doing this? And then, like,
I want to see the video from after the interview.
I'm sure you do, Matt. I'm sure you do.
Poor Mike's penis didn't even get a match. Like, he was ready. He's always ready. Mike's penis is always ready. He didn't even get the fucking match.
Not as ready as his anus.
Eddie defeats the Cheetah Kid.
The Cheetah Kid is what you have? Okay, I have Mass Cheetah.
No, it's the Cheetah Kid.
Okay.
Big Boss Man loses to Jeff Jarrett.
Big Bubba.
Jeff interview. He gets he's gonna get a match with Big Show and refers to himself as an Impact player. Because he'll later go on to create a TV show called Impact.
Oh, I get it. I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay.
There was also a faction in ECW called the Impact Players.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Featuring Just Incredible, who's apparently got a lot of heat with people recently.
I feel like he's had a lot of heat with people a lot, but I don't know.
Well, he made a book, and we had a couple weeks ago Front Face Lock on, and one of the members of Front Face Lock, who was not on our show, had ordered a book from Just Incredible, and Just Incredible has not sent these books out to people and has basically blown them off. Like, they ordered merch and things from them, and they're not getting the shit. So Just Incredible's got some and these people actually defended Just Incredible. Like, no, we had the guy on, he was cool, we met him, blah, 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 blah. And then they stiffed them, or then he stiffed them on the book. So yeah, it's a whole thing. Faces of Fear versus Harlem Heat. Benoit and Mongo make their presence felt. It's no contest when the outsiders show up and both teams decide, fuck it, we don't want to wrestle anymore, and try and run off the outsiders.
Yeah,
that's
about it.
No more match. Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it.
NWO's
What else they gonna do? Like, sit there and wait to get their asses whooped, because that's what was gonna happen. So might as well take the fight to them.
And then we've got the NWO with Liz going to the ring. Hogan's ridiculous fucking hairpiece.
The thing was so funny though. Like it's the wig from Mega Mountain.
He talks about the Three Ninjas.
High Noon at Mega Mountain. Dave
How he
Dragon.
Finished filming Three Ninjas.
Dave Dragon.
Hogan's
Go, Dave Dragon. What?
You just want to talk about Three Ninjas and fuck the rest of this? Because we could do that.
Can we?
We could. I mean, it's your show.
I mean, I know, right? But like,
who's your favorite Three Ninja?
Oh, Colt.
Colt?
Yeah.
I like Tum Tum.
Understandable. I mean, Tum Tum's fun too, because he honestly, of all of them, Tum Tum gets it. But like they were like in the second one, kick back when he was just like, yeah, I want to go to Japan. And Grab was like, yeah, thank you for wanting to continue your ninja training. Like, no. I want to be a sumo wrestler because they get to eat all day.
Hell yeah.
I'm just like, Tum Tum gets it. So yeah.
Tum Tum's my guy.
Yeah. That's enough. That's enough Three Ninjas talk. I'm sorry. He was a character named Dave Dragon in what's not even arguably the worst Three Ninjas movie. So didn't even have any of the original Three Ninja kids. Had the same grandpa though, but everybody else was replaced. Like the parents were replaced, the kids were replaced, and Hulk Hogan was Dave Dragon.
Hogan shit talks Macho Man. Hogan says Liz faked the video like every woman he's ever slept with has faked an orgasm with him. The Nasty Boys then come down with NWO shirts. And they're like, hey, the contracts that you gave us, like, it's not the money you promised us. It's not this, it's not that. And Hogan's like, oh, well, the problem is these aren't the contracts. I didn't sign these contracts. And if I didn't sign these contracts, you guys shouldn't be wearing our colors. We didn't give you permission to wear our colors because you don't have signed contracts, and the Nasty Boys get jumped, which we all saw coming a million miles. If I was watching this in 1996, I knew this was coming. Like,
especially if you had just seen what he did to the Disciple like a month and a half ago. Like,
Booty Man, Zodiac. He's not the Disciple yet.
Touche.
Hogan is delusional and thinking Liz had anything but nightmares about Hogan and his erectile dysfunction. The Outsiders take over commentary, and when Hogan goes to get on commentary, his mic is turned off. Thank God I didn't have to listen to him talk anymore as we go off air. This is fucking long, dude. October 21st, though. Last Nitro before Halloween Havoc. Bobby Eaton loses to Chris Jericho. X-Pac and Fake Sting are recording the show from the crowd with a handheld camcorder that kids probably have no idea what the fuck that is. Basically, X-Pac's got a match against Jericho at Halloween Havoc and says he's not impressed with Jericho. Jericho does an interview, says he's going to beat X-Pac at Halloween Havoc because he's babyface good guy Jericho with no vanilla, no flavor whatsoever.
Yeah, but he can't fuck with 6.
Dean Malenko defeats Jimmy Graffiti.
This motherfucker here. So this Jimmy Graffiti thing. I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay. So is this where John Cena got his gimmick from? Is this where he got it? Was he doing a riff on Jimmy Graffiti? Because it feels like he was doing a riff on Jimmy Graffiti now that I look back at it.
So fun fact. Jimmy Graffiti, known to wrestling fans better as the Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey.
I know the name,
he was
but I don't know the wrestler.
He was one half of the Heavenly Bodies in WWF.
Got you. Okay.
But also, yes, that's where Cena got his gimmick from.
Clearly, because everything he's wearing here is like, oh yeah, that's 100% Cena. Like,
DDP defeats Pittman. Guess what? Pittman's out there with Teddy Long, and the ref is Nick Patrick. So more Nick Patrick bullshit. Nick Patrick has been the star of Nitro these 6 weeks.
It's big time talent, man.
Ron Studd loses to Jeff Jarrett because just like we saw with Macho Man, Jeff Jarrett has to defeat people equal to the Big Show before his match with the Big Show. So he's got to beat a big tall guy to show that he can beat a big tall guy. And poor poor Yeti, poor Ron Reese is the fall guy.
Yeah.
For all of this.
Yeah. Poor him. He'll live.
Flair comes down. We have a strut off before the match. And then they handshake. We do a Jeff Jarrett interview after the match. Flair takes over the interview because he's motherfucking Ric Flair. He goes off on the NWO and says, "Oh, and I'll be in Jeff Jarrett's corner because this is mini me. This is the next me."
He does the strut like Ric Flair, does the figure four like Ric Flair. He certainly does seem to believe he's the next Ric Flair. So
he's not. Roadblock, who I definitely thought was part of the Dungeon of Doom, but apparently was not, loses to Lex Luger.
Yeah. After several attempts of getting him up for the wreck.
Yeah. Well, he's hurt.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
The American males are back together, losing to Harlem Heat as the outsiders watch from the crowd with their nose tape strips on.
That happened.
The Fantastics lose to the face. Dude, who the fuck? The Cheetah Kid, Roadblock, fucking Jimmy Graffiti. Like, who the fuck are these people? The Fantastics?
Yeah, the Fantastics was a new one to me too. I'm like, I don't remember these people at all. Like, I don't know these dudes.
Jerry Lynn in a mask loses to NWO Sting.
JL is his name.
Yeah, Jerry Lynn. That's what JL stands for. Jerry Lynn.
JL.
Jerry Lynn.
JL.
It used to be Mr. JL. The real Sting finally shows up, takes out the NWO Sting, and the NWO watches from ringside as the man that they created and brought into their faction gets his ass whooped by the real Sting because they don't want none of Sting. They know better. And this is, again...
Well, they just don't give a shit about the cheap imitation they made. Because
that too, but this is close to the Sting that we get to know and love. He's got, kind of the white face paint. It's getting there.
He's still got the white face paint, but he's still in the old style of the face paint. So it's just like still hasn't quite gotten there yet, but he's getting there. And yeah, they just let it happen because they still want Sting in the NWO. So they're not going to jump him if they're still trying to get him in.
Well, here they come in and they offer Sting a spot in the NWO. And this is where Kevin Nash and Razor Ramon tell us, hey, we know we'd be pissed if someone pretended to dress up like us. We know all about that. So we know how angry you are.
We got your attention.
Only thing that's for sure about Sting, though,
is nothing's for sure.
Again, we're finally getting to this thing I can't wait to see. And the Dungeon of Doom is still fucking around. Then we got Benoit versus Savage. Eric again shows why the fuck is Eric Bischoff showing Randy videos of Hogan and Liz before his matches? Because we don't get the matches. So this is Hogan on a movie set.
Eric's been stirring the pot all along, man. That's why when he finally joins the NWA, they can point back to all this stuff and say, see, I was working with them the whole time.
So he's the higher power?
Yeah. Yeah. WCW did it first.
Basically, the NWO take over the movie set. Hogan kicks the director out, kicks the cameraman out. And then he's trying to get Liz to send a message to Macho Man, but he won't. So he corners Liz and yells at her and threatens her. Mind you, Macho Man is wearing all black. This is not like the Macho Man we're used to in the bright colors and the Slim Jim outfits. All black, still the same outfit. Still got the tassels and the cowboy hat and all that. Straight black. And basically, he says he's gonna fucking kill Hulk Hogan. And I am all in on Macho Man Randy Savage at this point. It doesn't take a lot. If you say you want to murder Hulk Hogan, that's what I hate about this whole thing, is that I kind of have to agree with Sullivan, which breaks my heart because Sullivan has always said the truth, in which Hulk Hogan is a piece of shit and fuck Hulk Hogan.
So is Bobby Heenan.
Yeah, but I like Bobby Heenan. I don't fucking hate Bobby Heenan. I hate Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah, that was just one of those things. Like, it was just one of my favorite things about this was Bobby Heenan, like right after Bash at the Beach was like, haven't I been saying it? I've been saying it all along, and nobody's been listening to it. It's like, yeah, Bobby, you have. You absolutely have.
My favorite WCW pay-per-view of all time, my favorite NXT special, Halloween Havoc. We are finally here, and guess what we're kicking off with, ladies and gentlemen?
Luchadors.
Cruiserweight title match.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio loses to Stinko Malenko for the Cruiserweight title. What?
No, I said Luchadors, and it was like, oh, Mysterio Malenko, a Luchador. Yeah.
Loses to Stinko Malenko for the Cruiserweight title. Remember when they used to call him Stinko Malenko? I'm going to bring that back.
I mean, Jericho called him Stinko Malenko.
It's one of the best things Jericho's ever done.
Yeah.
Crowd was dead during this match.
Yeah. I mean, Vegas. They were still like, most of them were probably high. Like, it's just, they gotta get themselves revved up. It takes a while.
Yeah. Ray got his mask back during the match, but lost his belt. So, you got your panties back, but you don't have a belt to hold the pants up.
The whole mask switch thing during the match too was weird to me. Like, why bother?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Now it doesn't match your gear. Like, why did you do that?
Yeah, it was really fucking weird. Double J has an interview. The NWO doesn't impress him. Listen, that fucking laugh that Jeff Jarrett does is going to drive me insane. That ha ha, like after everything he fucking says, it's going to drive me fucking insane. I can't stand it. I hate it.
The weird thing about this interview to me, though, is how Jarrett is like, yeah, you might kick my ass and fuck me up, blah, 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 but you won't choke slam me. And they're just like, really? That's your promo on the Giant. Like, he's probably gonna kick your ass and fuck you up, but he won't choke slam you. No. And just okay.
You will not choke slam me. And Rick says he is going to orchestrate a brothel of fans for Double J after his match when he wins.
Really?
Because that's what Ric Flair does.
Okay.
What? That's what he said.
Did he really say the words orchestrate a brothel?
No, he said, I believe he said, it's time once again for everybody to come aboard the Ho train.
Pretty sure he didn't say that either.
He might have said the Woo train, but it was along those lines. I'm paraphrasing, sure. Travis.
I'm sure you are.
DDP defeats Eddie Guerrero in the battle for the ring. So apparently, again, this bugged me because the majority of these matches were set up on WCW Saturday Night. They were not set up on Nitro. Mm-hmm. So, like, we knew from 2 months ago that Eddie and DDP had issues. We know that DDP had the Battle Bowl ring, that Eddie beat him for it, and he never gave it back, but they don't reference it or talk about it on any of the Nitros leading up to this during any of DDP's matches. But that's what this match is for the Battle Bowl ring that Eddie beat DDP for. Eddie ends up losing, and then DDP, who said he lost the ring, miraculously finds it in the corner, and it's there, and he's got it back now that he won it.
Mm-hmm.
We do a drawing for the new owner of the Slim Jim monster truck. Some lucky fan won a Slim Jim monster truck.
Sure they did.
We find out that you can listen to pay-per-views, specifically Halloween Havoc, on the internet, audio only. So if you can't afford to buy the pay-per-view, go to this website and you can hear what's going on.
Yeah, just listen.
This was a thing back in the day, ladies and gentlemen.
Early internet.
Stingo Malenko has an interview, says he's going to take on all comers, even Ray, directly on his face, if need be. Big Show interview with DiBiase. Well, he doesn't have, no. Stinko's going to take it on his face.
I know.
Which is probably why he wanted the mask, but he doesn't have it anymore.
I'm saying, like, when Ray was champ, he also was ready to take on all comers. That's why he wore a mask. So, like, saying Malenko's going to do it too, he's like, you need to prepare yourself because Ray did.
Get a mask.
Yeah.
We got a Big Show interview with DiBiase. Double J's an idiot, got played for taking this match. Apparently, Big Show is the U.S. champion, but never won it. He just took the belt.
Possession is 9/10 of the law, sir.
Big Show defeats Double J.
Of course he does.
Flair grabs a mic and taunts Big Show.
Because Flair talks shit. That's what Flair be doing.
The reason that Big Show wins the match is because Flair hits Big Show with a low blow in front of the ref. Because he doesn't give a fuck about anybody but himself. He didn't care about Double J winning.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
The four horsemen come down to join Ric Flair and Jeff Jarrett, who's not mad that he lost the match. And Big Show runs off. Where the fuck's the NWO? You've got Big Show, X-Pac, Nash, Hall, Hogan, Vincent. Like you're still outnumbering them.
It's true. I don't know. It's a good question. A valid question.
Then we get another Ted DiBiase interview with X-Pac before X-Pac defeats Chris Jericho. Because apparently that is the new thing now, is before every NWO match, we're going to do an interview with Ted DiBiase and the person in the ring, and then they're going to walk through the crowd to the ring for their match.
Mm-hmm.
Lex Luger defeats Arn Anderson because WCW can't get their shit together and just worry about the NWO. They still got to do a lot of infighting. Lex keeps the rack on well after the bell is over to punish Arn Anderson.
I also, I believe this is Arn's last match or second to last match or something like that before he like steps away because of the neck injuries and stuff.
He gets stretchered out here, and Rick and Double J come to check on him and go to the hospital with him to make sure he's okay, which means Benoit and Mongo are all by themselves.
Yeah, I believe that was why they did it that way too, because they knew he wasn't going to be doing anymore after this match. So they had it. So like he was like really hurt and blah, blah, blah.
The Faces of Fear lose to Benoit and Mongo in their match.
Yeah, we got another Bobby Heenanism in here too. I don't remember exactly what it was. I didn't want to go back and find it, but it was some other, some kind of racist Bobby Heenan shit about the way that the Faces of Fear talked. That was about it.
After the match, the Dungeon of Doom, who still fucking exists, destroy Benoit and Mongo.
Yep, because they're all alone.
The Outsiders defeat Harlem Heat to become your WCW Tag Team Champions.
Yup.
Colonel Parker ends up bitching out, handing Kevin Nash the cane, which he then uses to hit Booker T.
Yeah.
And get the win.
Yeah, I want to say he hit Booker T. Yeah, because Stevie Ray was on the outside, and yeah.
Have we talked about how this whole Colonel Parker and Kane and Cole / Harlem Heat thing bothers me?
Yeah, we have.
We discussed how Booker T's from Texas, but he's a part of Harlem Heat.
You mentioned that last episode, yeah.
Because Kevin Owens brought it up. He's like,
yeah,
you're from Texas,
Kevin Nash, not Kevin Owens.
Yeah, Kevin Owens mentioned it last.
Kevin Nash, not Kevin Owens.
No, Kevin Owens on SmackDown recently when he challenged Stone Cold Steve Austin to a match, said you're from Texas, but you spent your entire career in a tag team called Harlem Heat because you think Texas is shit. This is part of Kevin Owens shitting on Texas. Shitting on people from Texas.
Got it. Okay. That's what you meant. I'm like, because Nash and Hall did actually say something about Texas when talking to Harlem Heat, like in one of their promos or something. So I thought that's what you were mentioning. But okay, no. Gotcha.
Now, is it the Houston hangover? Or is it the Harlem hangover at this point?
At this point, it's still the Harlem hangover because they're still from Harlem. He didn't start calling it the Houston hangover until after he got to WWE.
Okay. Yeah, no, fuck Colonel Parker. I don't know why they're still dealing with him. Yeah. Also, did you get the feeling that Sister Sherry was blind?
No.
There was this weird thing where like she had glasses on and she was walking really slow and it looked like she was using people to guide her to the ring. I was
Matt. She was fucked up. This is Sherry Martel. She was fucked up.
Okay. I was just like, did she get blinded on WCW Saturday Night and I missed it? Like,
no, she was fucked up.
That makes a lot more sense, actually. And in our main event, for the NWO WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Hulk Hogan defeats Randy Macho Man Savage.
And I believe this is actually like the first time they faced each other for a world title since that one time they did it at WrestleMania, like back in the 80s. At least for the title. Like they faced each other before, I'm pretty sure, but not for a title since back then.
I feel like they did, and I feel like we covered it.
Nope. Every time one of them had a title match, it was against someone else. It was never against each other.
Really? I will tell you this, though. I love Macho Man Randy Savage. He snatched the fucking hairpiece off Hulk Hogan, which made me so happy.
Which, by the way, just want to point out that Hogan was willing to let himself be made fun of that way. Like, you know, he was okay with that. So, you know, you can't.
Then he shoved the hairpiece into Hogan's mouth.
Yeah. All things that, you know.
Hogan was like, yeah, you can make fun of me this way. I'm still winning the match, though. I'm not losing. That's not going to work for me, brother. Yeah, you do whatever the fuck you want. I'm still walking out champ. Yeah. Hogan shit.
Yeah, make him look. Let people make him look like a cowardice piece of shit.
The Slim Jim monster truck comes in with Randy as part of his entrance.
Yeah, he just stops and ushers in the monster truck for a while and then walks to the ring. It is, yeah. They got to show off those monster trucks.
And Nick Patrick,
you saw how during this pay-per-view, like, you know, Slim Jim had advertising everywhere, like the ring posts, even like the ring itself had the decorations and all that kind of stuff. You know, in WWE, Vince don't play that shit. Like the canvas is off limits for him. But like, yeah, WCW don't give a fuck. Like, yeah, how much you paying, Slim Jim? Yeah, you want that too? Yeah, you get a couple spots on the canvas around the Halloween Havoc logo and want the post. You can have it all.
Eric Bischoff would have wore a full 3-piece Slim Jim suit on commentary if they had asked for it.
Oh yeah. They needed the money.
Yeah. Nick Patrick ends up screwing WCW over.
Yeah.
Because he is with the NWO.
Can you prove that though?
He was the masked man for NWO Saturday Night.
You have no proof.
I guess you could make the argument that he screwed Macho Man because Macho Man hurt him.
You don't know.
But he was pretty buddy with Hulk Hogan.
Perhaps. I mean, you know, if there are people on one side who are kicking everybody's ass and you don't want to get your ass kicked, what do?
And then I popped because the bagpipes played. And the only time in my life I ever hear bagpipes are during a Korn song or if Roddy Piper's coming out. One of those two times. And I knew Korn was not showing up in 1996 at WCW. I knew that wasn't happening. So I knew exactly what was going on. And somehow they dragged this segment on so long that I did not give a fuck about it at the end.
Yeah. When it first happened, though, I'm like, I bet Matt doesn't know this happened. So like, I'm sure he enjoyed this when it was happening. And like, but same like you, like when it kept going like to the end, like through the pay-per-view ending, because they ran out of time and they were still in the ring going back and forth. It was like, yo, we could have ended this a lot sooner.
Yeah, like 5-10 minutes ago. Like this was a long fucking promo back and forth battle. And it also bothered me that Hogan kept like, you know what, Roddy, you're I say I'm the icon of the business, isn't that? But we were running side by side. We were on the same level. Like, you're a fucking heel, Hogan.
And also, no, you weren't. Like, it's just like, no, you were not. Like,
why are you paying respect to Roddy Piper?
Like, you claim to be above a lot of people that you're not above already. But like, when you have someone here that you actually, you know, if you really look at the way things were positioned, yes, you are above Roddy Piper. Sorry for you like hardcore Piper fans out there. But when it comes to like who was the bigger star, Hogan's a bigger star than Piper. It is what it is. But yeah, like in this case, you actually were. So like,
why are you capping for Roddy?
Yeah. Like
when Roddy's out here to whoop your ass, like
you put yourself above all these huge Hollywood stars and all this kind of stuff, but you are like groveling to Roddy Piper when he's there by himself, by the way, and like he's surrounded by all these people who have your back. This makes no sense, like honestly,
at all.
None.
You know, they really killed that for me because I was all excited when Roddy came out and started spitting. I'm like, oh hell yeah! Like I knew Roddy showed up, And I know Roddy and Hogan had a feud because it was that whole hip scar thing. Like I remember that.
But you didn't know when it happened. Like when exactly?
I did not know when it happened. I did not know it was going to happen here. So I heard it. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. I know you're not going to win the title. You probably fucking should have at this point, but it's cool. Roddy, let's go. And then they killed it. They fucking murdered it.
Yeah. They'll get some good stuff out of it though. It's just, it lasted way too long. He could have came out. He shouldn't have gotten all the way into the ring. Like he should have like walked out, said some stuff, because it makes no sense for him to be in that ring and they don't jump him, you know?
Agreed.
So like if he stands back and talks all his shit and Hogan, pushes back on him and they end it there, that's perfect. But they did too much. Less is more. Less is more.
Less is more. That was Halloween Havoc.
It was.
Did you enjoy the 6 weeks of Nitro and the Halloween Havoc that we watched?
Yes.
You'd swallow.
Yeah. I'd swallow it. A lot of it is, I will admit, through nostalgia, but there's still some stuff that I thought was good. The whole them taking over Nitro thing was fun. Just seeing the NWO come and form itself and all that, and the Sting thing when he dropped that Sting line, seeing the beginnings of the Crow Sting, and also it also helps that I know what's coming and how it's coming. So it's just like this is what built for this that's coming later on, and it's just like I see the pieces coming together. So I enjoy that.
Okay.
Luchadors are always fun to watch. And they're fun to watch for me here because that's not the whole show.
Yeah.
Like you do that, boom, you saw that, cool, fun to watch, but I don't need an entire show of that. To me, like wrestling, when you're in a wrestling match, I need it to be a fight, not how cool the stuff can I do,
Yeah.
So this is why I still enjoy this over a lot of current stuff, because I watched wrestling growing up because I like watching people fight.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, the company that I think you're alluding to.
I actually wasn't alluding to one company. I'm actually alluding to them all because they're all guilty of this at certain points. Now, you're right, because there is one that's probably more guilty than others. But I was talking about all. Like
with Daniel Bryan and now William Regal managing Daniel Bryan and John Moxley, a lot of that fight aspect that it was missing, where it was a lot just of spot every match. A lot of that traditional wrestling is coming in. You might be seeing the opposite of WCW, where the majority of the card is the high flying spot stuff, and then the luchador segment or the cruiserweight segment is going to be like the traditional wrestling stuff that you get, but you're still going to get traditional wrestling from AEW. So
that's good.
And you got Keith Lee in there now. Shane Swerve Strickland.
Oh yeah, they do got Swerve now. Yeah, I did see that.
They picked up Swerve. Scorpio Sky, they gave the title to. So, he's TNT champion now. So they gave the title to a black man.
Did he win the title on TNT?
Yeah, I think he might have won it on TBS.
Of course, because why name the titles after a certain station and not have the?
I know maybe he did win it on TNT because Rampage is on TNT, and I think he did win it. I think he did win it Friday night, not Wednesday.
Yeah, I know that, but I do know they have TNT and TBS title matches on days they're not on those channels.
Yes,
though.
they
So
do.
It's just like. That's to me, it seems like that should be what draws people to your channel. You have a TNT champion, you want to draw people to this show, have that title be the main focus on that show.
Yeah.
Or at least like, of course, world title is the top, but like that other title should be second on that show.
I agree.
Same with Rampage, the world title should still be number one, but the TBS title right underneath that, and it's just like
you got that backwards. So Rampage is on TNT, Dynamite is on TBS.
Oh, they switched it.
They didn't switch it. So they were both on TNT for a while, and Dynamite just recently got moved to TBS.
I
don't know why.
Okay.
Bigger audience apparently, or more people have TBS than TNT, even though
Strange.
TNT seems like the flagship
Yeah.
promotion. But
Whatever.
Thunder was on TBS, Nitro was on TNT.
Yeah, whatever the fuck. But yeah,
Yeah.
To answer your question, yes, I enjoyed this. How about you, sir?
Gargling undecidedly. There was a lot of stuff I did enjoy. There was a lot of stuff that made me cringe and I fucking hated. And there was a shit ton of people I had no idea who the fuck they were and didn't care about.
It's true. Yeah, they especially the last Nitro just rolled out the jobbers there. And it was just
Yeah. And every Nitro had a jobber and Brad Armstrong.
Yeah.
So, you know.
But this was also during the era when jobbers were a thing, you know. They still did that. So
yeah, but I mean, beating Brad Armstrong isn't doing anything for anyone. Like, it's not getting Hugh Morris over anymore. Like,
yeah, they were filling out the card. Like I said, the jobbers were a thing at this point. They never really did anything for anybody, unless they were fighting like somebody who had a big match coming up and they were just squashing people all the way through and they're trying to build them up. That makes sense, but other than that, it really doesn't do much.
so yeah, gargling undecidedly, but that's better than me spitting everything. So, with Dungeon of Doom and Hulk Hogan on my TV every week, from what we've seen leading up to all of this, we are moving in a positive direction.
Yeah.
Give me more Kevin Nash. That man is fucking beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
1996 Kevin Nash probably should have been the sexiest man alive.
It's quite possible. They'd
Ridiculous.
Yeah. But yeah,
I'm not gay. I'm married. I have a daughter, but 1996 Kevin Nash, if he had hit on me, I might have, yeah.
Nash is still a beautiful man. Like, his old ass is still beautiful. So it's just like, you know, it's fine. Some people are blessed like that, you know? But yeah, World War III is next though.
Oh, yay. Because fuck, that's a shit show.
60-man Matt. 3
So do you like World War III more than you like the Royal Rumble?
Hell no.
Because it's the Royal Rumble times 3 or times
Not
2.
really, because the thing is, one of the things that makes the Royal Rumble so great is that countdown and seeing who's coming out next, you know?
Yeah.
With World War III, they literally start everybody in the ring. So it's just like they bring everybody out at once in the 3 rings. Yeah, they bring everybody out at once and then they start the match then. So that's not as much fun.
For those of you who are listening who aren't familiar with World War III, it is 3 rings, 20 people in each ring, and then as the numbers dwindle down and people get eliminated from each of the 3 rings that are happening all at once, they start combining rings.
Yeah, basically what they do is they keep going until there's 5 left in their ring, and then that ring stops. And once each ring has 5 people left, they bring them all to the center ring and they finish it off there.
All right, Travis.
At least I think that's the number.
Plug Creation World, what you've got going on.
Okay, so you can follow us all on both Twitter and Instagram at The Creation World. That is at TheCreatia World. I'm not going to tell you all how to spell world. If you don't know how to spell world, get a fucking dictionary. Also, Facebook at facebook.com/Creation World. Also, check us out on on creationworld.com. That's where you get all the insight on what everything we do is right there at creationworld.com. You can also follow me on both Twitter and Instagram at Lord_Cussalott. That is at LORD_CUSSALOTT. I host a weekly show with Mara the Shark Watkins, Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow. Check that out if you're a fan of the Arrowverse on the CW. Also, Creation Conversation and Dungeons After Dark will be back soon. I promise. I know it's been a while. They'll be back. Believe that's it. There's a Facebook group for Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow, facebook.com/group/Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow. Hello. Oh, you put him away. Okay.
And you guys can follow me at Mattridder, at MATTRIDDER on Twitter only, Twitter and Instagram, Smacking It Raw Pod, Smacking It Raw Pod. I run the Twitter. Vince runs the Instagram. You guys can check us out there. I basically turned the Twitter for Smacking It Raw Pod into the Return to Wrestling Twitter. So I post about my little watch alongs as I do through WCW. They're trying to do a little something different there, but go check that out as well. Get those numbers up. Facebook.com/group/Smacking It Raw. We have a very fun group over there run by Mike Willis, who's been great to us, who also drops monthly requests through Patreon for a topic that we talk about every month. So if you're interested in that, you can check out our Patreon. All that is in the link tree at Matt Ritter. You can find the link trees for Linktree Creation World and Linktree Smack and Raw there, where you can find the video and audio forms. Smack and Raw is the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub. And also, I believe we got a new Spitter Swallow episode from Vince that dropped or is going to drop.
It's out.
Where he, along with the She-Elite Showcase, reviews AEW Revolution. So please go check that out. It's YouTube exclusive. So go subscribe to our YouTube channel, enjoy and check that out. Vince does a great job with that, and we really do appreciate it. However, this has been my once a month visitation with my best friend Travis via the internet, and it has been fantastic. Travis, thank you. I had fun. Really like that shirt. You guys can pick those up through Young Kings Wrestling. Link is also at Matt Ritter. If you want to go grab one of those, money goes to a good cause. I will see you again next month for World War III. Thank you again. This has been your return to wrestling.
Peace.